exceptionnel avec le fondateur de la marque RUF, Monsieur RUF. Hello, Mr. RUF.
It's a pleasure, hello.
It's a pleasure to be here with you today.
Okay.
So the goal of the video is that you could present the history of RUF first, and then after we'll make a little tour of your workshop.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, I'm very pleased to show you around today what we are doing in our company. The RUF goes back all the way to 1939. My parents were the founders of the company, and everything that was done here was about wheels and vehicles, you know. So my dad was, especially the years after World War II, he was specialized to improvise, you know. He had to fix many things, make something out of 3 vehicles, build one out of it, and make all kind of emergency solutions to make the car running again. You know?
I see.
And I was born in 1950, and I was able to learn a lot and see from my father how he was doing things. And
it was here?
It was here in the same location, very same location, much smaller, but it was in the same location.
And I think you were born in the house
the house is right next door.
Right okay,
yes,
that's a long story actually. And so here we are in the showroom. It's where people are getting the delivery of their car, I think so.
Yes, yeah, it's happening like today. This car will be delivered to its owner today, so that is also another great moment, you know.
And how many people are working here?
We are now a staff of 92 people, 12 that are apprentices, and they are making their career by learning from the very beginning and through their school time.
Okay.
And
it's a family business because you're working with your wife? And
I work with my wife, my son,
your son?
And my serious old guys staff, you know, because they have been around for 40 years and longer, and are now shortly before retirement. And,
I see.
But they are the icons that we put the whole company together, and this is part of the whole success story.
An important point is that in front of the main building, you have a Porsche maintenance center?
Yes, we have that as well. That is across the street. It's a Porsche service center. And also across the street, in the future, we will have the assembly of the RUF cars, and we already have the body shop over there, where we do all the carrosserie, you know, all the body work.
Perfect.
I think you have learned about the car. I think
the CTR.
Yeah, when you look at this car, on the first glance, you believe it's a 911 from older days that has been restored, you know.
Yeah.
But the idea was to bring the feeling back from our good old Yellowbird. That goes back to 1987, and the new car has been created around the silhouette of the original Yellowbird, and therefore the car length and the size of the glass house is still identical. But what we have changed is we have changed the wheelbase.
It's a little bit longer.
70 millimeters longer.
Okay.
And that your eye is reading this correctly, and you don't have the feeling that something looks out of proportion.
Yeah.
We lengthened the door by 25 millimeters here. So we have less meat in this area, so it looks correct again, because the front axle has been moved by 20 millimeters, and the rear axle has been moved by 50 millimeters. When you look at the car, everything still looks like it's supposed to be this way. You know?
And you have changed so many things, including the wheels, of course, the braking system.
Yeah, the whole suspension. Yeah, the whole suspension is entirely new.
Une chose importante, les amis, c'est que tout est modifié sur une RUF. Je l'explique dans mon autre vidéo sur la CTR anniversaire. Vraiment, c'est pas une base de Porsche, c'est vraiment une nouvelle voiture de A jusqu'à Z.
We don't have the rain gutter, which is typical for us. This is our signature since the 1980s.
Yeah.
And here we gave the car more shoulder, 30 millimeters more.
Yeah.
And for this reason, the fender flares don't look too exposed. They're not so blown up.
Okay.
And we also moved the headlights 25 millimeter more outboard.
And you made also the headlights.
All the lighting.
It's made in
not only the headlights, everything. The whole lighting system is completely new.
Okay.
You probably have seen the spaghettini in the back for the third brake light. And here we put 40 millimeters more meat, what we call it. That is possible because we made a new taillight anyway. And with the new taillight, it was possible to make this change here in the rear.
And the engine is a 3.6 liter V-turbo.
Water-cooled engine.
Water-cooled, 710 horsepower.
And the weight 1,250 kilos.
Yeah, 1,250.
So that's a good ratio.
It is a good ratio because 9 and 992 Turbo S is about 1.7 ton, I think.
Yeah,
so it's 500 kilos less than a new turbo. All the exterior of the car weighs only 13 kilos.
Yeah.
And the monocoque in carbon fiber,
85,
it's 85 kilos.
Yeah, yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. This is why at the total it's 1,200 kilos only.
That's correct. Yeah.
We can move on and continue in the workshop.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Why did you choose Porsche?
The whole story started with an accident.
Okay.
My father built his own bus, a tour bus,
Okay.
in the 1950s, and he was going in this bus, and he was overtaken by a Porsche, exactly like this car here, this 356 Carbon hardtop.
Okay.
It's a very special model. The gentleman who drove the car lost control over the car and ended up in the ditch and rode the car.
Okay.
And my father looked after him and brought him to the hospital, made sure that he's fine, and we ended up buying the broken car.
Okay.
We fixed it, and that was our first Porsche.
Okay.
And then a year later, we sold the car under circumstances that were totally unusual, and it was such an emotional, great effect for us that we said we have to stay in that world. These Porsche people, they're all crazy, and we need to continue in that craziness, you know.
Okay.
And this is how we continued, and I'm still doing it today.
Okay, so that was the beginning of your passion for Porsche.
Yes, that was the very beginning.
Incredible.
Yeah. I think the caisse nue is something interesting for the people to understand.
Yeah. It's not that heavy. Very light.
Now move it over here.
Yeah, sure.
When you look at this body, you see all the pieces, the carbon pieces. This is with a special coating that we have on top of the carbon.
Okay.
But you see it underneath all the structure. And now it's going to our paint shop, and we are preparing it for the paint.
And very light again.
Yeah, of course. It needs to be light, and we keep it as light as possible. Even with all the lightness, we have airbags. We have a passenger airbag, and we have a driver's airbag.
For security.
For security. So
and also you have some roll bar inside.
yeah, we use the steel for the roll bar because it is flexible in case of an accident.
Okay.
The same thing is with the front frame and the rear frame, the subframes.
Okay.
They will give in case of an accident.
Okay.
In case of the crash.
Things to know is that the weight of each door is about 2 kilos, around 2 kilos. So really light.
Yeah, super lightweight everything.
All the colors can be changed by the customer.
Yeah. Well, the customer can tell us what color he wants, and we'll make it. You know.
Yeah.
Here for this car, we chose a color from the IROC collection in the year 1973.
Okay.
And that was one color that was used also for the IROC cars.
Okay.
Very rare lime green, and I think it's something special now.
And for the power of engine, can you change it? I mean, for example, if a customer comes, he say, okay, 710 for a CTR is not enough for me. Can you make a...
In principle, we could, but it's about drivability.
Yeah, okay.
The car is so light, and with 710 horsepower, nobody has complained yet. It says, I want more power.
Yeah.
It becomes difficult to drive.
Yeah, of course. For me, it's more than enough. And over there, there's a Dyno Test room.
Yeah, the dyno room. Yeah.
From the Formula One.
Yeah, one of the dynamometres is from the Formula One in the 1970s.
Yeah. Can we just see it?
Oh yeah, sure, we can have a look. This here is what we call an analog dyno.
Okay.
Which is the good old school of a dyno. This was built in the 1970s.
Okay.
And this dyno was made for 14,000 RPMs.
Okay.
Which was in the 1970s an incredible RPM range. Only for Formula One engines. That was used at BMW.
And you still use it actually. It's in a very good shape actually.
Yes, we keep it in good shape. We have to do overhauls from time to time.
Okay.
But we call this our dinosaur. This is such a excellent equipment that we want to keep that forever.
Yeah.
And
that's a masterpiece actually.
Yeah, we receive engines today from other companies that they're asking us to do the dyno run because such dynos are no longer in use. For us, it's a masterpiece.
And I have a question. How long does it take to, for a customer, if a customer comes and he wants to order a CTR, for example, how long does it take to,
3 years.
be delivered? 3 years.
3 years,
Okay.
yes. Yeah. But CTR, unfortunately, we're sold out.
Yeah.
You can only take orders for SCRs now.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. And how many cars are coming from the workshop every year? It's about, I don't know, 40, 50 cars to be delivered to customers?
We know for new cars that we
Yeah.
build our maximum 30 cars per
30
year.
cars, okay.
Yes. And then we still have what we call resto mod.
Okay.
These are cars that are older models.
Okay.
And we make an upgrade
Yeah?
and give them a restoration at the same
Okay.
time.
So thank you very much, Mr. Ruf,
Sure.
for this incredible tour.
Yes, thank you for the visit. And I would like to say to the audience, all the best, and thank you for watching what we are doing. And
Yeah.
we want to continue and do this for many years more because we think we are in a niche. There will always be people around that appreciate that and want
Yeah,
that,
sure.
no matter what happens.
The French audience asked me actually since a long time ago to make videos on your history.
Okay.
So that's the case today. Thank you
All
again.
right. Sure.
And
Thank you.
I am sure they will like all the test drive we made
Okay.
today and yesterday.
OK, merci
you.
à vous et mes salutations pour tous les passionnés.
Ça marche. Merci, Monsieur Ruf.
OK, merci.
Les amis sur YouTube, abonnez-vous, activez la cloche de notification, c'est très important. Moi, je vous dis à la semaine prochaine. Allez, ciao.